With the latest Super Dragon Ball Heroes Universal Conflict episode scheduled to air sometime during this month, and with the latest Super Dragon Ball Heroes Prison Planet manga chapter number 5 having to be released, we have brand new spoilers as to what is to be expected, revealing new information on our new heroes and villains in the upcoming Universe Conflict arc for the Super Dragon Ball Heroes manga, courtesy of Cypher over on Kanzenshu. We also have brand new information as to what exactly happened between Goku and the Grand Priest, and what is to be expected for this upcoming manga chapter that correlates to the upcoming anime episode that's going to be airing sometime during this month. And once more, if you guys are new to this channel and love Dragon Ball and anime and want to be up to date and be kept in the loop with all information Dragon Ball related, then don't forget to go on ahead and punch that subscribe button and slap a like down below if you guys are excited to see all of the brand new events and episodes scheduled to be airing for Super Dragon Ball Heroes, as the upcoming manga chapter does reveal what seemingly appears to be the leader of the 6 sinister characters present in the brand new Universal Conflict arc, which happens to be a character named Hearts. Now, the reason why this character is named Hearts is because he has the ability to hear the heartbeat of any individual that he seeks out, which also grants Hearts the ability to read up and understand someone's desires, emotions, and motivations, which in turn he uses that to his advantage in getting anyone to do anything for him. Now, the beginning of Super Dragon Ball Heroes Universal Conflict Arc Chapter number 6 kicks off with Cumber having to be retrieved within the core area that is the center of the prison planet, where a mysterious young woman by the name of Kamen appears and comments on how pitiful it was for Cumber to break out on his own only to be defeated and to come back yet again. And she also wonders if they should just kill him now that he's unconscious. So Cumber is alive, but they're contemplating on killing him, or at least Kamen, which is one of the Neo machines, due to the fact that Cumber could not get the job done. Now, from the shadows, a young man, Oren, appears and he agrees with his sister. There is no need to add on to weaklings among their team, which then another voice calls out to them in wait, and in the meantime the speaker asks Lags if she could return Cumber to his normal state for them, which in this manga chapter it is said that Cumber is lying on the floor encased in something made of a glass-like material, presumably a measure for his retrieval, as the unknown speaker says that he had been listening to Cumber breaking free of the core area, and he thought Cumber going on a rampage might help the universe seed grow faster, and indeed, he did a wonderful job in gathering this much for them. Now, what is the universe seed? As you guys can see on screen, there is an image on the background of this poster which showcases all of the multiverses, which of course is 1 through 12, and in the middle of all of this is something called the universe seed. Now, Hearts is trying to unleash this terrible seed, this universal seed, upon the multiverse that seemingly enough will not only affect the entirety of the multiverse itself, but also be used as a tool to kill off the Omni King. So all of this is being done, Cumber being set on a rampage, them having to attack Universe 6, all as a means of growing the universal seed. Now, what's very interesting about this are both of the Neo machines want Cumber dead for failing to take care of the job. Now, Lags, seemingly enough, is the woman having to be shown on the poster on this side here, because the individuals that are a part of this entire plan are Lags, Kamen, Oren, Cumber, Hearts, and Punish Zamasu. As a voice cries out, Lags goes on to comment, "But you must have known the strength of his opponents too, right?" As Hearts goes on to state, "People ought to be free to do as they please." As Hearts also goes on to comment in stating now, as he asks the former Kaioshin candidate as to what they ought to do next, hence Punish Zamasu. And from a crystal throne far behind the others, Zamasu answers as he already thought of a plan. However, there is no particular need to tell Hearts, right? As Hearts replies by stating right, because Hearts had already heard and picked up on Zamasu's desires. So all of this is happening due to the idea that they understand that they are up against very powerful adversaries, but they're still going to use this as a means to keep Cumber around and pursue their quest in trying to destroy the Omni Kings by fueling the universe seed and unleashing that to their advantage. Now, you might be asking asking yourself, why exactly are they after the Omni Kings specifically? Well, for obvious answers. The Omni Kings, despite what you think about them, are the most dangerous entities that exist within the multiverse. Why? Because they have the ability to erase anything whenever they desire. So to eradicate the greatest possible threat that looms among them, they're aiming for the big dogs first before they take care of the rest. Now back on Beerus' homeworld, Whis and Vegeta among the others discuss their sudden return to the prison planet, and judging based from the sky darkening beforehand, it looks like someone, Oolong in this case, made a wish for all of the prisoners to be returned by using the Dragon Balls, in which Vegeta points out that they should have been holding on to at least one Dragon Ball to prevent them from being collected, as Mai goes on to notice that the Dragon Balls have been plucked from her pocket in the previous manga chapter by Ozato. They also go on to talk about how Goku has not returned, and seemingly enough, Goku is ironically missing. But Beerus goes on to state that worrying about Goku's whereabouts are not helping the situation at hand, but more importantly, he and Whis have been summoned to the Omni King's palace and they don't want to be late. As Whis prepares to send everyone back home, they are interrupted by the Universe 6 Kaioshin receiving urgent news that Universe 6 is under attack and they need help, hence why Trunks and Vegeta go off to Universe 6. Now this is where things begin to get very interesting. Now in Universe 6, Kaba wonders if it's okay to leave everything there up to Hit, knowing that Hit can figure things out on his own in searching and trying to find Kale and Caulifla. Now among having to find Kale and Caulifla, it looks like they're bearing that of white hair and markings resemble babies on their face, and Kaba pleads for both of them to wake up and snap out of the state that they're in. Now of course Kale and Caulifla in this case are being possessed by Orin and Kamen, infecting their bodies very similar to that of babies. So as Kaba goes on to fight both of them, he is easily outmatched and bested by both Kale and Caulifla in this case, until we see how Trunks and Vegeta show up, and they're so easily able to one-shot Kamen and Orin out of their bodies, to where we see the liquid leave both Kale and Caulifla in this case, setting them both free. Now in this case, when Trunks and Vegeta appear out of nowhere as Super Saiyan Blue and Super Saiyans respectively out of shock, Kale and Caulifla don't seem to remember as to what had happened. Now as the liquid reforms into Kamen and Orin is surprised to find Kaba still alive, as Kamen thinks that they should have a lot more fun with them before killing them, which in this case having to be fully recovered, Kale and Caulifla thank Universe 7 for their help, but want to settle the score on their own, as Vegeta concedes due to the fact that that's what makes them Saiyans, since they're helping them anyway. Caulifla somehow snags the Universe 7 Kaioshin's Potaras off of him and creates Kefla. Now then we get to see Kamen and Orin fight off against Kefla, as then Kefla roughens up Kamen and Orin for a bit and tells Kaba to get back to the fight at the other location where Hit is residing, as she has a worse feeling among the enemy over there than both Orin and Kamen presently. So with Kaba having to arrive, now he's sent back to Hit's location because it looks like Hit isn't going to have as easy of a time as Kefla insinuates that she's going to have against Kamen and Orin. Now in the middle of a crumbling city, Hit faces off against punished Zamasu, and after exchanging a few close misses, Hit moves within his time skip and finds Zamasu reading all around it, anticipating his attacks. So the fan service is there, Zamasu versus Hit, something that a lot of people had wanted to see from the original Future Trunks story arc now happening within the future city. And on a subsequent attempt, Zamasu debates and reads Hit's movements, left to right, right to left, but is ultimately shocked by Hit's improvement rate as Hit punches Zamasu directly in the jaw, as Hit goes on to tell Zamasu there is no time for hesitation. As Zamasu flies above the city, irritated that such a creature who isn't even a god is interfering in such a fight, sure enough he promises that this will be the assassin's last attempt on fighting such a divine being, as Heart appears behind Hit and says that he can't agree with that line of thoughts, as the ones deserving of destruction are the gods, as Heart goes on to tell Zamasu, besides, you aren't a god, but a mortal yourself, isn't that right, Zamasu? Now, I cannot overlook Hearts. Don't you dare put me in the same class as these barbaric creatures, as Zamasu tells Hearts. More importantly, Zamasu asks, how is their plan going? As they still need more energy, Heart suggests moving into a place where they can gather even more. As he has a question in stating, who is the strongest person you know? As immediately Hit thinks of Jiren. As Hit turns towards Heart, he says he's under no obligation to answer him. As Heart laughs and says it's fine, Hit prepares to attack with the time skip. However, he finds that his attack is swung wide as Hearts had already, quote, heard him. As Hearts has more questions for Hit, he goes on to ask, where can I find him? As he casually catches one of Hit's punches, and Hit thinks to himself that of course Jiren is located in the 11th universe, not knowing that Hearts is immediately able to take every one of Hit's thoughts and gather that information for himself. As no sooner as the fight continues, Zamasu's energy blade pierces right through Hit's chest. As Zamasu apologizes to Hearts, he's gone against his way of thinking and killed yet another mortal again. Hearts thinks nothing of it, and it's unavoidable as they agree to go to Universe 11 as their next target right now is the strongest mortal known as Jiren. Now as for Goku, he is indeed within the Omni King Palace. He was never training with the Grand Priest, nor is he known as Grand Priest Goku. The insinuation was that Goku had trained with him, but of course that only proved to be a false assumption as the fandom originally thought that Goku had received some type of training from the Grand Priest when in fact he did not. Now on the route of meeting the Omni King and now having to run late due to Beerus having to have time to eat, Whis and Beerus discuss the events concerning Goku and the others, as Whis says that he guesses what might have happened to Goku, as he may be in a state where they can't feel his power. As Beerus wonders what this means, if Goku is alive or dead, Whis goes on to state that maybe he's in a place where nobody can feel his power, and that place being the Omni King's Palace. Now inside of the Omni King's Palace, the Grand Priest's realm, the Grand Priest comments to Goku and stating that it seems like Goku's powers have returned to him, and the uniform that he is wearing right now, molded after the Grand Priest's uniform himself, seems to suit Goku. As he offers Goku to send him back to his friends, the Grand Priest is aware of all of the events that are occurring right now within the multiverse, but offers to send Goku back as Goku seems to be the person in charge of countering this battle against Hearts and Zamasu, as the manga chapter of course comes to a close. Now there's more to this manga chapter than what I've explained on this video, in which I will be fully revealing once everything is showcased, so again, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and come back to this channel to find out what exactly happens. I think this is a great setup, and I really do enjoy how there are a group of villains that not only want everyone in the multiverse dead, but they're targeting the Omni Kings primarily because they know that the Omni Kings are their greatest threats currently. So I really did enjoy the battle between Zamasu and Hit. We're going to be getting that in the anime as well, but I want to get your thoughts in the comment section below. What did you guys think about the spoilers? What did you guys think about the overall summary? What are your overall thoughts on Goku having to be sent off back to his friends wearing the Grand Priest's outfit? And what are your overall thoughts as to how strong Cumber is going to be, how strong Hearts is going to be? Are we going to see different fusions? Are we going to see different characters of that nature appear? I want to get your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, guys. Once more, if you guys enjoyed the video, slap a like down below if you guys are new to the channel. Hit that subscribe button, everybody. Turn on all notifications. Tune back in for the next video, and I'll be seeing you all down in the comment section below. Have a great day, everybody. Peace.
This is the Galactic Emperor of the Universe, and of course I'm here to tell you to subscribe to UnrealEntGaming and all his social media platforms. Also, don't forget to turn on notifications so you can be the first to know every time that he uploads a new video.
Oh, did someone say UnrealEntGaming? Oh my god!
The fuck, Zarbon? Put on some clothes!
Well, why don't you put on any clothes?
What? I don't need clothes! Jesus Christ, that's huge!